Tomorrow, the dreaded Arctic blast is headed our way. It means we're gonna go from 50 degrees down to single digits to negative Fahrenheit. So today in this video, I wanna get this log out of here, and this guy, this log here, these two little fellas, and if all goes well, this guy too. I also want to take a cut into our mystery tree and see if we can get some clues as to what it is. A lot of you guys in the comments said elm tree, had a few maples, a sycamore. I'm still leaning towards elm, but I'm not 100% sure. So I think cutting into it's going to give us some clues and maybe figure this thing out. But before we get to any of that, we need to work on this obstacle. If you saw in the last video, this thing gave me a huge bit of trouble. So I want to get this working so we can get some of these logs out of here. So let's start with the tractor. As you can see, the ground's pretty frozen still, but it's gonna thaw out fast with that sun, so I'm gonna let it do its job. I'm trying to get the angle much more this way because it's a 90-degree turn right past the camera. And when I was getting stuck, I was coming at it right here because it was too steep to drop down. So I figure if I can cut a path that kind of goes at this angle, it solves two problems. One, it makes it a longer run. And the other thing is I avoid that 90-degree turn. I just make a nice smooth corner. So that's what I'm doing there. You might be thinking, why don't you just make a nice bridge? You've got a sawmill, you've got wood. It'd be an awesome, make a wood bridge and you can just cross straight across. My only concern is this is very sandy. There is some clay in here, but it's mostly sand. And even in my lifetime, I've watched this creek shift all over the place because every time in the spring, we get big storms. All the water comes down off of these hills into this creek bed. You get a lot of water coming through here. And I'm just worried that a bridge will just get washed out eventually. It might take a few years, but it's just really silty and sandy, so I just think a crossing is a better solution. And if I get it really nice right now, it's gonna freeze and all winter I'll have access. I'm already happy we got a much better angle. I can use it as it is. I'll just make a little bit more improvement. But in the meantime, let's see if we can get a log through here. Why not? In the last video where I got stuck here and also cut that tree down, a ton of you commented and gave me a bunch of great advice. And a lot of you wanted me to use the tractor to do all this work, like drag the logs out and stuff. This is a 29 horsepower tractor, so it's not very big. It can obviously handle those logs, pulling them out. But on this hilly terrain with a lot of off-camber stuff, and even just going through that creek bed, I'm not that comfortable. This thing gets really, really tippy really fast. And the thought of rolling this thing out here by myself scares me. So I'm a little overly cautious. Some of you would just jump on this thing and use it for everything. I understand that. I'm just a little more timid with it, but that's okay. That definitely worked a lot better. I still got to work on my angle. It still couldn't make that 90-degree turn. I had to back up and jockey around, but much better than what we were, so yeah. My chain hoist just broke. What the heck? Luckily it fell apart right here, so I don't think I lost any parts. Maybe I lost a key. Huh. Okay, so I gotta find another little key. This is a very cheap chain hoist. I think it was 80 bucks for the whole thing. It's a 2-ton hoist, but as you can see, I already lost one cover, which might be part of the problem. And now I lost one of the keys. Luckily, I didn't lose this piece on the way up here. It actually fell out right here, because I never would have found it then. Well, I don't have any wire, but I do have a piece of string that I use to level out the sawmill with. See if I can hillbilly this thing together. Okay, so there's that guy. Again, this is just keeping the other end of the chain from falling down. That's all it's doing. Back in the game. If you watched the last video, you know I was pretty beat up and worn out and things weren't going my way at all. And today I feel really good, strong. I'm very well rested. And even things like that don't bother me. So you just gotta take care of yourself. All right. This is an old climbing rope, and while it's useful for many things, it's not useful in this case. It's a dynamic rope, so it just keeps stretching, so I don't have a lot of control. So I'm gonna have to use my logging chain, which only has a hook on one end for now, until I get another one. I was trying to make the rope work just because then I wouldn't have to use my big heavy chain just to put the log on, but it's okay. This will work just fine. All I really need is a couple chains to put on here. They can be short and they don't have to be these big logging chains. And I ordered some hooks that I can weld to this so then I can just hook them, which will be nice. But in the meantime, we're gonna get the job done one way or another. That's what I wanna see. Well, I'm learning that worked even better. I got around there. This trailer tire was real close there, but I didn't have to backtrack. I made it around, so we're getting better. I'd like to get this guy out next, which is going to be a challenge for a couple reasons. One, it'll be really hard to get my side-by-side all the way up here, and I don't really have that long of a chain once I wrap it around. But I've got a plan, so let me show you. In the last video, you saw me cut this tree. And it's just sitting here. It's not wedged in here or anything, so once I pull that end out, it'll just fall down. But if it falls directly down, it's probably just gonna get stuck on this tree, which I can cut with a chainsaw, obviously. But I've got an idea. So the idea here is if I can put a roll in the log, when I pull, it'll hopefully just start rolling the log. Before it falls down, it'll get over top of this and slide off. That's the idea. If that'll work or not, we don't know yet, but we're obviously gonna find out. This is the biggest log from that tree that we cut, so it'll be interesting to see how it goes across the crossing. I think it'll do fine. Let's get it out of here. I've got this log here. I could bring it up as well. It's only a 10-inch diameter at the most, and it's not even straight. So honestly, I'm not gonna get hardly any wood out of it. I could bring it up, but it could also just be really nice firewood. I've got some more firewood up here anyways to cut, so maybe I'll just make this firewood. I don't know yet. But what I do want to do is cut into this mystery log and see if we can figure out what it is right now. So before I take that up, let's do that. Now I really don't know what it is. I was honestly expecting dark colored wood. This is really light. It's almost like a sweet smell. It's got a little tiny bit of red, but just barely. It's almost like pink. Otherwise, it's really white. So it's like a chalky, sweet smell. Does that make any sense? Yeah, it looks like a really clean grain, very light colored, a little bit of red in it, but not much. I mean, there's definitely spalting because it's rotten here. Maybe farther up the tree, there's more color, I don't know, but, and I'm in southeast Iowa, if that helps any, in a very heavy oak forest. Yeah, it's very light and springy. I wish you guys could smell it. It smells good, but it's very subtle. It's like a sweet smell, but it's very light. I've been sitting here playing with my phone, just Googling sweet smelling hardwoods, and I think I might have figured it out. Could this be a black birch, sweet birch? I don't know, can you confirm or deny that, anybody? I've never even paid attention to a black birch or knew what they were, so if this is a black birch, I'm excited to mill it up because sometimes they have reds and really pretty colors in them and oranges. Hard to identify trees sometimes until you really know the nuances of them. Maybe we've got a black birch here, or maybe it's not. I don't know. That was an awful lot of work just for these few logs, but we made some ground down there, got the trail going, and also there's some more wood there, as you can see, that we're gonna get to in the future. But I need to start working towards my goal of $30,000 of cut wood this year. So hopefully in the next video, we really just go to town and start milling like crazy, see how much wood we can get milled up. As you can see, I've got wood lying everywhere. We've got these beautiful white oak logs, one over there too. Got this gnarly pile of cedar, which I've actually got a job, so I need to start cutting on this soon. We got black cherry and a whole bunch of random stuff. Some shagbark hickory, and we got some nice temperatures next weekend also to look forward to. For now, I'm gonna button up because it's gonna get really, really cold here. I'm talking negative Fahrenheit temperatures, so everybody prepare yourself for the Arctic blast. See you in the next video.